I recently launched memberships on my channel, and when brainstorming what I could do to fill out these tiers, I got an idea. What if I could build a viewer's dream home in my world? Cool, simple, good enough. And I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna actually... we already have a Diamond member. Well, better get to work. To make this whole thing work, I first needed to get into contact with the newest channel member. I couldn't build their dream house without knowing what their dream was, so this is kind of a crucial step. Now, I was expecting some reference images, maybe a Pinterest board and architectural style, but no, this man had already built his dream home in Minecraft. So like, basically, he did all the work for me, with a catch. You see, he built it on Bedrock, and the only way I could use it as a reference was to watch a video he sent me of him touring the house. Now, this wasn't a big issue. I basically spent a lot of time pausing, slowing down, zooming in best I could, and sending lots of different reference images back to my man. And like always, I started by getting the shaping just right, which led me here. The house has three main components: the main house, the middle part, and the garage. The next step was a palette. I was given modern farmhouse as the overall vibes for the build, and while I could just copy the palette that was shown to me, I thought I could improve a little bit on it. So after a bit of testing, I landed on this. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. Of course, I'm a sucker for birch. The deep slate roofs matches the architecture style, and the garage is kind of one-off. It doesn't fit as well into the theme, but I think it's a really solid design. With the house all done, I want to take it into a creative copy of my forever world and start figuring out how on earth I'm going to get this house to look like it belongs. Of course, by now, you all have heard of Axiom. It's a really great tool for builders to use, especially when working on larger projects. Well, I've been practicing with this mod, learning little bits here and there as I work on other creative projects, but here I wanted to challenge myself and actually learn to use some of it. So after a few fudged attempts, breaking down and watching tutorial videos, Googling stuff, I wound up with this. There's a lot wrong here, and there's a lot that's good enough. I basically want to bridge the gap between nothing and something, and we got there. We'll see more of the interior later. I don't want to spoil too much right now. With the final sign off from my member, it was time to let the real grind begin. Surprisingly, I already had the majority of the resources I needed for this project. It ended up just being a lot of running back and forth between the different sections of my storage room. I did, however, need to collect a good bit of wood: spruce, dark oak, birch, and pale oak. And with all the resources gathered up, I needed to address my canvas. From where we started to what we're working with now, you can see just how much better this terrain will be to work with. You can see it just looks a lot cleaner, and it looks a little bit weird without the house sitting right there, but in general, this shape is a lot cleaner than what we started out with here. I'll take a bit of a free cam look at it. You can just see how things kind of like flow together better. All in all, made it feel a lot better than what it was before. It gave us the perfect foundation to start building this house, and you can see we even have the foundation hole from where this house is going to go. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're plugging away. We've got this. We got all the resources ready to go. We just got to get it done, you know? Yeah, this is a solid starting point at this moment. I like to show you guys this stage of the build process because it's a bit of a peek behind the curtains. You guys get to see what it looks like before it's actually like all pretty. This is really ugly right now. There's still plenty to be done with the terraining, but I feel like Axiom really helped me get like a good idea for what I wanted the general shape to look like. It really helped solidify this build in my head. It made me feel less like I was just kind of throwing it in the landscape and not really knowing what to do. So I do appreciate it for that, and I look forward to using it in the future. I feel like this is a very solid kicking off point. It's a good time to start working on this house. And I know we've already seen a little bit of it, but I'm excited to see this in the world. It's a bit different whenever you bring it into your own world. So let's get to another time lapse. Oh, and it's raining. That's so perfect. That's so perfect. I love that for us. Let's get to time lapse mode. Now look at that. It's pretty impressive if I do say so myself. I'm actually really proud of this design. Of course, we followed our member specifications, but we did put our own little twist to it, our own little color palette on it, and I think we landed in quite a solid spot if I do say so myself. And before we take a tour on the inside, I want to take a little bit of a loop on the outside of the property because, of course, this is a dream house, but there's a bit more than just the house on this land. Now, of course, right up front, this is the main roundabout that they travel up towards their house, and I needed to put something in this space, so I figured, why not just do a nice little fountain here? We also have a little bit of a garden, and you might hear some mobs underneath here. I didn't light it up completely, I suppose, but we put a nice little flower garden in here, got some nice pops of color, a couple little hedges and stuff, and just kind of created a nice little spot in this little islet here in the middle. There wasn't really much else to put here, but I thought a fountain just did a really nice job of filling the space. And then, of course, over here around this hedge, we actually have direct access to the landing strip, which is missing a bit of an important element to it. But this is basically another big roundabout. We didn't really do anything fancy with this middle section here, just kind of gave it some texturing and kind of called it at that. And then, of course, over here, we still have a lot to do, like texturing and detailing the hills and stuff, throwing in grass and bone meal and flowers. But you can see down there, we got a little a barrier, I guess, so that the plane doesn't run off the edge. There should be plenty of room. I don't know if it's like relegation length. But then coming around the back of the house here, you can see, you get a nice little view of it. But this is the outside pool area. Got a little jacuzzi going on here, a little bit of a peek on the inside. I wish we could add like bubbles or something without sizzling our toes, but you know, it's a nice little jacuzzi. We are still missing a little bits of detail here around the pools that I wanted to do together, but of course, just some like small poolside things, like a diving board, some chairs and stuff like that. Nothing too serious. And then, of course, there's still a bit more to do back here as well. This kind of like weird shape in the middle of the lake, I want to get rid of this. And then I want to put in a dock over here as well. And of course, actually, I wrote all this stuff down. So we still have the lake terraforming, which I just mentioned. And I think it'd be fun to do like a little floaty off in the middle of the lake. Some docks, which are over here as well. The poolside decor, which I just mentioned. The vehicles, that's an important one. The interior finishes, after we go through the tour of the interior, I'll kind of point those out as we go along. Texturing, like I mentioned earlier. And then, of course, trees. Obviously, we need plenty of trees. We spent about a couple hours demolishing all the trees in this area before we even started this project. And now I'm going to spend probably even more time focused on adding more trees back to this area. So that'll be a lot of fun. Now that the moon is rising, I think it's a good enough time to go inside. This is the main house. Of course, the main walk-up is kind of from the garage area, but we just did a cute little garden out front. Nothing too fancy, just nice little pops of color, adding some flowers and stuff, just a bit of interest out here in the front yard. And I want to come through here and just add a bunch of texturing and make it look a lot better. But that'll be after we finish our tours and stuff. That's on the list. It's on the list. But here is the interior. This is the welcome room, the foyer, the entertainment room. I'm not really sure what they're called, but this is kind of like where you would kind of greet your guests and you'd sit here and like chat and catch up and all that stuff. And yeah, it's a nice little cozy room. That's the way downstairs. We'll take a look at that in a second, but right here we have like a nice little shoe closet. Nothing too fancy right there. Now walking through here, we are greeted with the biggest room in the house. This is the dining room, the seating room. There's more seating stuff upstairs, part way into the kitchen. This is just kind of like the main room of the house. Of course, we got the fireplace over here as well, so we can sit on the couch, chat it up, and have the nice little fire there. But we also have the kitchen table here, so they can all enjoy their family meals together. Right off next to the kitchen table is the kitchen itself. Nothing like too big. I kind of had to work with the space that I was given. But it is a nice, neat little kitchen. And then, of course, over here we have a nice big old walk-in pantry, which I thought was pretty cool. And then you have this nice space here. You can do, I don't know, I guess like cutting up some vegetables or stuff, looking out at the terrain. Thought that was pretty nice. And then coming through here across the way, this is like the main residential area. These are all bedrooms for the kiddos, which they all come equipped with their own little closet. And of course, they're not furnished right now because this is move-in ready, where we expect the resident to be bringing in their own furniture and whatnot. But all these rooms are just nice little areas, I guess, for the bedrooms. Not too bad. Not much going on here though, because they are just, well, bedrooms after all. And then through here, we have the entryway into the garage. Probably one of my favorite rooms that we've designed in this house. I think this turned out really, really well. And actually, you don't even see it very often, but my favorite view of this room is this wall, which it might look better at daytime, but we ended up using the secret texture for cartography tables. So we got this nice like vertical dark oak plank here, and I just thought it looked really, really good. Now we got a nice atmosphere and the lighting here. We got a big old fan in the ceiling. I just think it looks really, really cool. And of course, this is supposed to be big enough to hold the airplane we're going to build in a little bit, and then space enough for some cars as well. So spatially, I think it's a pretty good look. And then over here, we also have access to the back of the house. And this is a nice little patio area. Maybe we throw some like picnic tables, some umbrellas out there. I don't know. But moving on back through here, I think we're going to go up and we'll go down to the basement last. If we come back through here, this is the main staircase upstairs and actually the only one. We have this whole area up here. You can add more tables, more chairs. I want to add in a chandelier in a little bit. This is basically just, you know, free space to do what you please. I didn't really want to throw a bunch of tables in here randomly because I felt like that would be a bit overkill. So we just kind of left it bare for the time being. This is going to be where my diamond member actually lives. It's up here. It's this nice little lofty space. We have a nice big old walk-in closet here. And just a lot of room. I think it's a cool look. You got a nice view over the lands, and then over here towards the lake. I think it looks really good. Of course, it probably looks better during the daytime, but through here is his office. Nice big old space, and then you got a nice overview of the garage space. I thought this window was a really cool addition. It's kind of the main reason I put the office on this side, just so that he could have that window on there as well. And then over here we have a nice little seating area. You can sit out here and chill and look over the property in the back. All right, and then coming through here, we do have 2 ways down to the... Hello. No visitors at this time, please. Open house is not till tomorrow. Please come back in the daytime. Nope, no children. The things that real estate agents have to deal with these days. Ridiculous. And there was another staircase over by the garage, but this is kind of the main staircase into the family den. This is kind of what I imagine as like the game room or the main entertainment space for whenever you have like family over, friends and stuff like that. Something less formal from the seating rooms upstairs. We got a nice television over here, a nice wraparound sofa, some tables with some cups and whatnot. We got an open bar here. You can entertain some guests. We need to throw in some chairs. We have a nice pool table over here. I don't know if you guys have seen this design before, but these are basically just signs underneath here with the carpet on top. Pretty cool design there. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, just nothing like too crazy in this room. I think it looks really good. This is another one of my favorite rooms here. I love this angle over here. I love the atmosphere here. Moving on through here, though, we have another bedroom just off to the left here, another small one, about the same size as the ones upstairs. And then a nice big open space. Over here, we have a storage closet, you know, because every good house needs a lot of storage space. And then over here, potentially my favorite room in the house is the home movie theater. I just absolutely love the way that this place looks. It's not too big, not too over the top, but it does just nail the atmosphere, I think. I really like this. The striping on the walls, the red, the big black screen, the lighting. We use these weathered copper bulbs to get that perfect amount of light here. Those are, I think, the lightly weathered ones, like the one stage below oxidized. But yeah, I think it looks really good in this room. And that might also be just because I'm a movie nerd. But then coming through here, we have that other staircase that led back up to the main floor. And that is pretty much it. We have some unwanted house guests. Hello. Please don't blow up. And now that the sun is rising, I think it's time to start working on those finishing touches. I think first what I want to do is probably the vehicles. I think I'm most excited about these. We ended up using some designs from Corralis's Season 10 Hermitcraft base. We'll be using just 2 of his designs, one speedboat right here, and then the design for the airplane in just a moment. But I think I want to do the speedboat first because it looks the coolest of those vehicles. Oh yeah. This feels fancy, but as you can see, it's also not quite the right size. It's a little bit big for the space that we have. Another reason that I want to tear out some of this lake here. But once we deepen it, I think it'll be just right. We got enough water here. This thing looks like it could probably let loose pretty well in this area. And I think lore-wise, this should be just the perfect size. Now I want to work on the airplane. That's going to go right there. And there we go. I really like this plane design. I think it's like just the right size. It's absolutely perfect. And of course we use some neat little building tricks here with some mini block heads as the tires. This design is just so cool. Absolutely love it. Okay, now with those both in place, I think it's the perfect time to add in these docks that I was talking about, because the ship, I don't think it would just sit up here floating. I think it needs something to tether it to the land here. So we're going to build some docks real fast. And here we go. Nothing too crazy, but a nice simple design. Kind of tethers the ship to the docks. Makes it feel like it actually belongs here. We also got some chains along here just to show that it's tied down. It's not going to go anywhere. And I think since we're over here, we might as well just go ahead and get these pool decorations out of the way. What do you say? Look at that. Decoration's so good, and the squid are coming to enjoy the pool. I mean, come on. We got it while we're over here, right? 360. Not a lot to finish up in here, but we got a little bit more to do. Now, most importantly, we are missing paintings, and I think we got a good one for this space here. That's the one. This is the conversation piece. You can sit here and talk about whatever that is. Okay, and then a nice small one over here, I think. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe we'll do a too tall one here. There really needs to be an easier way to do this. There we go. Okay. All right, and then I want another big one right there. Not that one. That one. Perfect. Maybe over here. Yeah, okay. Posters in the garage, anyone? Boom. Dog poster. Cute and wholesome. Yep, really ties the room together. Ooh, now it would be really cool if we could do like homemade movie posters and have those lined up the wall, but I don't think we can. Let me try something. So, I mean, something like that kind of works, but I feel like it's a bit too much for the space. So maybe we don't do that. I think this room's pretty perfect as it is, so we'll leave it alone. Now this space is feeling pretty empty, but I don't know if I want to put paintings here or if I want to do that chandelier that I was talking about. I think I know which way I'm leaning. Now that was the right call. Look at that. Getting better at doing those. All right, now anything we want to add in here? We'll leave this room as it is. Maybe we'll put something in the office. Nothing too fancy, but I think it adds a little something. All right, now with that, I think the interior is pretty much finished. And on that note, I wanted to say that we are actually going to do another member exclusive video, but instead of doing a build breakdown, we are going to do a modded makeover. So if that interests you and seeing what we can do with some modded blocks for this interior, maybe check out becoming a channel member. I know we pretty much beat it to a pulp this video, but memberships really, really do help me out. So I would appreciate it. If that interests you, maybe go check those out. But now with those all checked off of our list, I think there's only one big glaring issue staring us right in the face. There's just one more thing that I want to get done today, and well, it's kind of a doozy still. Yeah, I still want to go through and completely overhaul this grass because I really like the way that it's shaped, but I don't absolutely love the way that it's textured. So we're gonna come through here. We're gonna add some texture, some life to this thing, some bone meal, you know, a hefty amount of that stuff, and then of course the piece de resistance. We're gonna add some trees. And I don't really know what those trees are going to be like. I'm kind of overwhelmed with the amount of trees that I've been building lately, but we'll throw together some good ones, and we'll see what we can do here. But this, take a look at it. It's the last time you're going to see it like this. Next time, it's going to be even better. You know, there's a certain level of beauty that you can achieve in this game. Whenever you try and do these like picture frame builds, it hits on a different level. Of course, we did go pretty all in with this build, with the framing, with the trees, the terrain, and everything like that. Really because I wanted to lean into that picture frame aesthetic. I didn't really mention it at all today, but that was kind of my underlying goal with this project. Of course, I wanted the dream home to be dreamy. You know, I wanted it to feel like something out of a picture book, and I think we kind of achieved that. Now, we put quite a bit of effort into trying to make this area feel lived in. We didn't want to go too over the top with the detail, not too over the top with the texture, apparently not good enough with the lighting underneath, but we just wanted to add just enough to make this place feel real. It didn't require doing a bunch of different textures in the grass. We went for more of like a patchy approach, kind of where the trees are. We put extra patches of different stuff, but for the most part, we left it kind of green and kind of open. Of course, there are things that I could probably improve about this terrain, but we didn't really do much in creative this time around. We really just did it in person, ad hoc, in the world, first time, not copying it through Lightmatica, just kind of letting our brain letting our brain kind of flow into different ideas one after the other. And I actually kind of liked that system of doing things. I think we found a pretty good pattern in the way that we did today's video. I really like coming through here and giving ourselves like a nice blank canvas to work with, and then coming back through and just, you know, throwing on some music and letting myself do the fun detailing work, little bits of life that you can kind of see peering through the edges of your screen. And I mentioned wanting to get this area to look like a picture frame. I spent some time at different angles kind of looking for those picture frames. Like, that looks pretty good. We got the old house view that looks pretty good, of course. Yeah, it was just something that I wanted to point out to you guys. Now, in terms of like greater detail, we didn't go too over the top with the areas that we're not going to see very much. So this stuff back here, we did like the bare minimum. We leveled out this terrain. We, of course, put the dirt in and a couple of layers of mud. But I really didn't want to go too all out with this, especially since I'm not going to see it very often. We kind of took the modded approach, the one that I've been doing in my modded playthrough, with the mud and the seagrass. Not entirely sure how I feel about it in this context, but hey, we're practicing, we're trying our best, and if it doesn't work, we'll try again, try something different next time. Now, looking at this, we didn't do too much in the texturing department of these rocks either. I don't know. By the time I got to these rocks, I was kind of out of steam, if I'm being honest, and they just kind of got the bare minimum basically. But in all, I mean, it doesn't feel terrible. Like, it's still a good looking build. I also came through here on the backside and just did some, you know, patchwork terraforming, if we're being honest here. I don't know if we'll ever expand back here. I'm thinking like the main member town, if we get more diamond members. I jinxed myself with this one, honestly. But if we do get more members, I think we're going to expand over in this area. Like I was saying, I wanted this to be more of like a picture frame. And I think every member house, if we take this level of detail and consideration into the house, I think this is going to be a really, really beautiful area when all is said and done. I don't know. I found myself enjoying the way that I approach this build. Let me know what you guys think. One last look for old time's sake. All right, peeps, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Let's play catch up. Yes, the part of the show where I show you all the stuff that I've been doing off camera all around my world, because I'm a terrible YouTuber. And like always, we've got ourselves a little list to go off of. Now, starting off at the very top of the list, we have put paintings in this room. Not super fancy, but you know, every little bit helps. Do I hear a spider? Where on earth is that able to spawn? Okay, bud. Okay. Now, ignoring that guy, we also went through and did some of the first maps. This is going to be quite the daunting task, I realized, and I actually very quickly ran out of maps. But this is, I don't even know how many chunks a map is, but this is our starter base. This is our storage room, and then all the way across here is the very edge of the map. And you can see just barely there, towards the middle still, is our base. And then over here, this is about where Dieland is. And then we still have another like 4 maps past that. So it's going to be able to show us quite a bit of our world. And I'm really excited for that. But at the same time, it's pretty daunting looking at just how many maps we're going to have to do. And I also guarantee you that I will not be updating this very frequently. So, you know, little bits here and there, I think is the way to do this project. But I started that. Now off to the basement. Because down here, I've actually added some very handy directions. You can see we have some pointing in each cardinal direction, not on these sides, but down the main corridors. And now this really, really helps me from getting lost. Down here, it was kind of a bit of a headache. I'd get turned around very, very easily. But now that I have these directions here, it makes it a lot better. And then I also went through and added a bit more. I wasn't sure if we put these signs in the last episode. But if I haven't shown those off yet, these are using some armor stands. Pretty nifty to have for the bulk storage area. And then, yeah, just the addition of these things has saved me so many headaches and so many 180s and turning around and forgetting where I am. And then speaking of finishing things from last episode, we also have another thing we talked about in our previous Let's Play Catch-Up segment. Oh, and I got some happy gas too on live stream. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. Okay, if you guys remember this one from the last Let's Play Catch-Up, this was the horse stables. And I don't really remember where we are, but in my notes I have finished the interior of this, so I'm assuming we didn't show that off in the last episode, but this is what the interior is looking like now. I think we also showed this off on the live stream, but this is looking pretty good. I actually really like the vibes in here. I think the atmosphere is really, really good. We did a lot with armor stands and mini blocks in this build. Definitely practiced as a lot compared to some of the other builds. It definitely went a lot more detail heavy, especially here, like on the outside. We got some armor stands, some item frames, some mini blocks. These pumpkins here, those will go eventually, but I'm not quite ready for fall to be over yet. But you can see here, we just put in a lot more effort into the little bits of detail, and I think it paid off. I actually really, really like how this came out. And of course, we have our Sundance and our Toledo in here, being good old horses. And directly out here too, we have been working on some terraforming. Get a bit of a view out here in the distance. Not so much this side hasn't really been completed yet, but I really just wanted to focus on adding something to this space, because I feel like having it just empty here wasn't really doing it for me. So on stream, we kind of did this outline here for this terraforming segment, and then I just went through actually quite recently and added in the rest of it. We're gonna get up here on Cheaty Cam, and you can kind of see a bit of the terrain here. Nothing too fancy yet. We still got to do some shading, some texturing and whatnot. But for the most part, I think I'm actually kind of happy with how this is coming out. I was really stuck for a while on like what I wanted this segment, this area of the world to be. And I think just adding rocks, it kind of helped my brain settle a bit. And I feel a little bit better about how this looks now. And then of course, I think the plans for up here, we're going to turn this segment into another area for the town, and we're gonna have shops around this road here. As you can see, I kind of mocked it out already just to kind of build it in with the terraforming. I thought that was important. But we'll have shops kind of lining this road here, looping around over there to the coast. Not really sure what we're gonna do on that side yet. I figured we'll do basically one step at a time and see if we can't get something to look good on this side first before we bring it all the way around there. But plans, I think I've mentioned this before, I want to put a bakery either right here or up here as part of the plaza, just for those guys right there, so we have an actual space for our farmer villagers. And I feel like right here is probably a good spot, right across from the redstone guys. But speaking of new stuff in the game, we are actually on 1.21.10. So not only do we have the brand new happy gas, we also got these little tinkerers. Yeah, oh, I forgot that I kind of took care of them all. But yeah, look at this, we have copper golems in the game now. I don't exactly know what I'm going to be using them for, but I did already collect a bunch of the statue ones. So we have all of these guys here. I think like a stack of them actually. We can use these guys around our world for just random stuff. I figured like shenanigans of, oh, I don't know why I tried to break that. Figured we could get these guys up to some shenanigans around our world and just add them in little places. Like I've already added them over here on my little lion statues. Something fun, something quirky. I really wasn't sure what to do with them. I was just kind of playing around with them here. And then we also added them over here on the fountain. These guys are a bit more stoic than the other ones, but, you know, they kind of add a little something to the fountain. I don't know if I like it. Don't know if I love it yet. But, you know, we're trying with these guys. They're brand new to the game. We'll give them some time. One thought that I did have was trying to stick them up here in the pediment for the library. But unfortunately, the render distance on the copper golems, you can see they already disappeared. They do not stick around when you're at a distance. So even if I did put them up here, I kind of wanted to like pose them along here. Even if I did do that, you wouldn't be able to see them past like the entryway of the library. And that's just, I mean, even from right here, you're not seeing the pediment. You have to be a ways out to be able to see them. And at that point, they're disappeared, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And on a bit of a lesser note, but since I am doing it pretty much constantly, I have started to get some more villagers up here. One thing that I was focusing on in the beginning is getting really good guys with like multiple good traits. Like we have density 5, luck of the C3, those are 2 good ones, breach 4, aqua affinity, you know, just stuff like this where I wanted really good trades for one villager. But I found myself kind of missing out on some of the glass trade. Oh, I need to come through here and wax these. And so now I think my new focus is to get something with a good trade and then also have glass to it. So that's kind of like my new goal for this villager project that we've been doing. I also don't update you guys on this very often, so I wouldn't be surprised if you have no idea what I'm talking about here. You wouldn't believe how many times I've had to do this. And on a little bit of a minor note to end it off here, we also did a little snow farm because that supporter house that we just did actually used quite a bit of snow, like over a shulker box of snow. And I was about to go collect that all off of a mountain or something like that. So did get this guy here, trapped him up pretty good. And yeah, nothing much to that farm, but nothing. It helped fill out this little nook here. Of course, we still have like a full open one on this side, and I think a couple more open on the other side. So if y'all have any ideas for micro farms that you think I could use, please let me know, because I really don't know what to put here. And believe it or not, during the course of this project, we actually passed 5,000 days. So now we are basically in endgame Minecraft, if we haven't been already. But it's kind of crazy to think that we've had this world for like, what, over 3 years now, and we've only passed 5,000 days. I see some people online with their like 50,000 day worlds that they've had for like 8+ years. And I'm sitting here with my little 5,000 day world after 3 years, and you know, I guess we have something to be proud of here. But it's definitely got me thinking about like the longevity of this world and how much longer we're going to spend in it. And I've been like teetering back and forth on what I want to do with this series, and I think we're due for a change. But I don't quite think I'm ready to say goodbye to this world just yet. But that being said, I wanted to talk to you guys, since we are doing the series about trees right now. Do I keep these? Do I keep these trees here, or do I actually do some better ones in their place? On one hand, I kind of like the wonkiness of it, and I like that it's part of like this section of our world, because I feel like this section, I mean, this is some of the earliest stuff that we've done. This was like what, episode 2, episode 3, and of course our starter house and whatnot. So I feel like it'd be okay leaving them a little bit wonky, even though we only did them a few months ago. But I definitely think we could knock out some better trees if we gave it some effort. But just let me know what you guys think about that. And before I ramble for too long, I think we should knock out the comment of the day. Am I forgetting something? I feel like I'm forgetting something. All right, and it says, your channel is so underrated. I don't know if you need any suggestions, but I think some giant trees would look good in the middle where you have the tanks, because personally, I think the middle area looks a bit hollow, but good nonetheless. I could never even imagine building something this good. You got a new sub. Tybe HCR. Thank you very much, Tybe. And if you guys don't know what they are talking about, they are referencing this giant space in the middle of our storage rooms right here. This is the tank that they're mentioning. And I figured since it had something to do with trees, I'd shot them out here. But I do like that idea. I think it'd be cool to have a big old tree here. I just don't know if it actually fits the room itself. Like, I designed this room with a very specific purpose in mind. And I like the hollowness of it, honestly. I think it kind of adds to the vibe that I was thinking of whenever I was designing it. And I feel like if we had the tree be the centerpiece of the room, we'd have to design a room around that idea, you know? It would feel a bit weird if we came through here and added a tree just in the middle here, after we've already designed this room with another purpose in mind. But I do think that has some merit to it. And definitely something I'm going to consider in the future if we do another big build like this, because I could definitely picture a big old tree here. I think that'd be so cool. Oh, and I remember what we were going to do. You see it? You see it? Yep, it's time to go back to the green trim. It's been way too long. And there we go. And you know, with all the trees that we've been building, this feels actually just right. We're definitely in our green era. Look at this. Nice sunset as we close out today's video. Oh yeah, that's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to prolong the outro anymore, so I appreciate y'all being here at this point in the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.